Throughout history, some leaders dared to dream beyond borders, men who envisioned a united, prosperous, and self-reliant Africa. But those visions, radical to colonial and corporate interests, came at a price. This is not a list of rumors, not conspiracy theories. Every case you're about to hear is backed by declassified documents, verified investigations, and historical testimony. These were leaders who stood up not just for their countries, but for an Africa free from dependency and exploitation. And in most cases, they paid with their lives. This is a story of resistance, of betrayal, and of a continent that was never allowed to dream freely. If you appreciate well-researched insights, African, global, or otherwise, subscribe and turn on notifications. This is History Unfiltered. Number 1. Patrice Lumumba, Congo. In 1960, Congo became independent from Belgium, and its first prime minister, Patrice Lumumba, was not interested in being a puppet. He demanded full control over Congo's mineral wealth and called for Pan-African unity. But the West, particularly Belgium and the United States, saw a threat. The CIA labeled Lumumba a communist sympathizer. Declassified CIA documents revealed direct involvement in plots to remove him. One memo reads, "His removal must be an urgent and prime objective." He was captured, tortured, and murdered in 1961. Belgian officials admitted in 2002 that they were morally responsible. Number 2. Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso. Thomas Sankara was Africa's most radical dreamer. He renamed his country from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, the land of upright men. He rejected foreign aid, nationalized land, planted millions of trees, and told the IMF, "We must not pay our debt with our people's blood." But that defiance came at a cost. In 1987, he was assassinated in a coup led by his close ally, Blaise Compaoré. French intelligence has long been suspected of involvement. In 2021, France declassified documents under pressure, revealing close surveillance of Sankara's movements and alliances. Number 3. Muammar Gaddafi, Libya. To many in the West, Gaddafi was a dictator, but to many in Africa, he was a visionary. He promoted a gold-backed African currency, funded Pan-African infrastructure projects, and proposed a United States of Africa. In 2011, NATO forces, under a UN resolution, intervened in Libya, but leaked Hillary Clinton emails and WikiLeaks documents show the intervention had more to do with protecting Western financial interests than humanitarian concern. Libya descended into chaos. Gaddafi was captured and executed. His Pan-African dream died with him. Number 4. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana. He led Ghana to independence in 1957 and became the father of modern Pan-Africanism. Kwame Nkrumah pushed for a united Africa with one currency, one army, and one voice. He built schools, industries, and refused to let Ghana fall into economic dependence. In 1966, while Nkrumah was abroad, a coup overthrew his government. Declassified CIA documents confirmed American involvement in supporting the opposition. One CIA file described him as Africa's biggest single problem. Number 5. Amilcar Cabral, Guinea-Bissau. Cabral wasn't just a military leader, he was a poet, philosopher, and strategist. He led the liberation movement against Portuguese colonialism, not with guns alone, but with ideas. In 1973, just months before independence, he was assassinated. Portuguese intelligence and foreign operatives had long viewed him as a threat to Lusophone control in Africa. Even CIA documents, now unsealed, reference Cabral as a destabilizing figure for colonial interests. If you're finding value in these deeply researched stories, subscribe and turn on notifications. We cover not just African history, but global stories that challenge the official narrative and bring the forgotten to light. Now let's continue. Number 6. Steve Biko, South Africa. Steve Biko believed that the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor was the mind of the oppressed. He founded the Black Consciousness movement, inspiring psychological liberation during apartheid. In 1977, Biko was arrested, beaten, and left to die in police custody. Though not an outright CIA assassination, the apartheid regime that killed him was propped up with arms, funds, and political support by Western powers, most notably the United States and the United Kingdom. Biko's story reminds us that not all assassinations are carried out by bullets. Some are made possible by silence. Number 7. Chris Hani, South Africa. If Mandela was a diplomat, Chris Hani was the warrior. A charismatic leader of the armed wing of the ANC, Hani was poised to lead the next generation of South Africa's revolution. But in 1993, just a year before apartheid's official end, he was assassinated. His killer, Janus Wallush, had connections to foreign anti-communist networks and white nationalist circles trained abroad. Hani's death nearly pushed South Africa into civil war. It also cleared the way for a more negotiated, less revolutionary transition. Number 8. Laurent-Désiré Kabila, DR Congo. Kabila rose to power during Congo's Second War and quickly turned on foreign corporations exploiting Congolese minerals. He expelled Rwandan and Ugandan troops, renationalized industries, and sought economic sovereignty. In 2001, he was shot point-blank by a bodyguard. Though the exact perpetrators remain unclear, the context is damning. Regional powers supported by Western companies had much to lose from Kabila's reforms. UN reports confirm massive looting of Congolese resources under the watch of multinationals. Number 9. Sylvanus Olympio. Togo's first president, Olympio, had one dream: economic independence. He rejected the CFA franc, France's post-colonial economic leash, and was working toward a sovereign national currency. In 1963, he was assassinated by a group of ex-French Foreign Legion soldiers, many of whom had been denied integration into Togo's military. France has always denied involvement, but the alignment of motives, timing, and benefit is hard to ignore. Number 10. Samora Machel, Mozambique. Samora Machel led Mozambique to independence from Portuguese rule and championed Pan-African solidarity. He fiercely opposed apartheid and colonial influence across the region. In 1986, his plane crashed near South Africa's border under highly suspicious circumstances. The flight path was allegedly diverted by a false radio beacon, technology controlled by South African military intelligence at the time. Witnesses and experts have long suspected sabotage. These were not perfect men. They were not all saints, but they shared one common trait: a refusal to let Africa remain at the mercy of foreign powers. And for that, they were silenced. Their stories are not just African stories. They are human stories of courage, of betrayal, and of what happens when vision collides with empire. Let their names never be forgotten. Let their dreams never be buried. If this documentary challenged your understanding of history, subscribe. Because the world needs more truth, unfiltered, unbought, and unafraid. Disclaimer: this content is for historical reflection only. We do not condone or promote hatred, violence, or discrimination of any kind.